Hi, everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records in Midland, Michigan. It is time once again for our weekly check into some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. But before we get to the releases scheduled for Friday, April, I have to say April because I'm getting used to this switch, April 7th, we're going to look ahead 1 week to a big release that's scheduled for the 14th. I'm speaking, of course, of the brand new Metallica album. Wanted to give you a heads up because we're getting a lot of interest here at our store about this brand new album entitled 72 Seasons. Now, just to be careful, I'm asking that if you have any interest in this, that you let us know if you'd like one, because quantities could be limited like we've seen with a few other big name releases recently. So the 72 Seasons by Metallica will be released again on Friday, April 14th, and come in two variations, at least for stores like ours, a double LP black vinyl version and an indie exclusive double LP on Midnight Violet vinyl. And it's that indie exclusive that I'm a little concerned might be more difficult to get a hold of. So again, let us know or let your local record store know if you're looking for that brand new Metallica in a couple of weeks. Onward now, though, to the new releases scheduled for Friday, April 7th, 2023. And we're starting off with kind of an angsty one from Mudhoney. Yes, Mudhoney, and a brand new album entitled Plastic Eternity. Our description says that this is a limited loser edition on shiny gray mattered colored vinyl. So the world is filling up with trash, humanity remains addicted to pollution, and the apocalypse is even stupider than anyone could have predicted. Hey, that's their description, not mine. So Plastic Eternity looks like an interesting one. Some songs on here entitled Plasticity, Little Dogs, Almost Everything, Cascades of Crap, and Flush the Fascists. So, again, gray colored vinyl from Mudhoney. Looks like it's listing for about $25. Something also brand new from Manchester Orchestra. This is called The Valley of Vision. And our description says it is a 27-minute breakthrough salvo of 6 songs that finds the band re-inspired once again and is accompanied by an album-length film shot in VR plus 3D computer radiography technology. Not even certain what that means. So, Valley of Vision by Manchester Orchestra, listing on black vinyl for about $22, and we're seeing an indie exclusive blue colored vinyl version of that, also listing for $22. Not quite sure what to think of this one, but this is called Bimbo-Core Volume 2, and the artist is Scene Queen. Our description says this features the viral hit Barbie and Ken and blends heavy metal and rock with modern pop and a whole lot of pink. Not the artist, the color. So Bimbo-Core Volume 2 by Scene Queen on pink-colored vinyl, listing for about $25. And not quite a new release, but yet another alternate cover and another vinyl variation to Lana Del Rey's Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? This one coming on limited edition white vinyl, double LP also. This one listing very heavy, coming in at a suggested list price of $62. On the reissue front for the 11th of April, we've got another one from De La Soul. Now, speaking of hard to get, the last reissue proved very difficult to get, so I'm not quite certain where this one's going to lead. But De La Soul is Dead is the release, and our description says it is a double LP on 140-gram black vinyl. This one coming in at a suggested list price of about $35. Here's one called Insurgents by Steven Wilson. Acclaimed for his work with Porcupine Tree, Opeth, and others, Steven Wilson's debut album Insurgents was released in 2009. So this reissue looks to be on black vinyl and will list for about $40. Also scheduled is a reissue of On Avery Island by Neutral Milk Hotel. This one is a double LP pressing housed in a gatefold jacket, includes an insert and a digital download as well. It is a reissue of the amazing 1996 debut album from Neutral Milk Hotel. Looks like this is coming on black vinyl only, so again, double LP, listing for about $29. Some more 1980s college radio fun, at least for me at least. This is Van Gogh by the Beat Farmers, the second album by the Beat Farmers, originally released in 1986, and it was the band's first album for Curb Records. So this reissue of Van Gogh by the Beat Farmers, listing for about $25. A pair from Voivod, we've got Nothing Face and Angel Rat. Nothing Face was reissued fairly recently, and I think this was an RSD release, if I'm not mistaken. But this new one on red-colored vinyl, listing for about $29, and Angel Rat coming on blue vinyl, also listing for about $29. And it's been, a couple of weeks since we've had one of these. Here's another one from the Grateful Dead. This is 3 from the Vault. Our description says that this one is a limited edition quadruple vinyl pressing housed in a gatefold Stoughton tip-on jacket. So From the Vault releases are distinguished from their more abundant Dix Picks series, in that Dix Picks are direct from the soundboard recordings, while the From the Vault series were professionally recorded on multi-track tapes and then mixed down decades later for the release. So this particular one was recorded live at the Capitol Theater in 1971, and it is the worldwide vinyl debut release of this seminal show, featuring the band's classic 5-piece lineup. So a 4 LP set of 3 from the Vault by the Grateful Dead, coming in at a list price of about $110. A little-known pressing, a little-known compilation, I believe, from 10 years after. This is called Stonehenge, and this is a limited 180-gram vinyl reissue coming from Proper Records UK. Looks like this was originally released in 1974, but according to Discogs, the only versions were European versions. So I don't believe there was ever a US version of this. So Stonehenge by 10 years after, listing for about $38. Next up on our reissue list is one from the Bee Gees. This is called Spicks and Specks. Originally released in 1966, this was written mostly by the then-teenaged Barry Gibb. And because it's pre-disco-y, it's got that definitive 60s pop sound across it. On colored vinyl, looks to be white colored vinyl, Spicks and Specks by the Bee Gees, listing for about $20. And here's a fun-sounding one. It's called What's Going On by T. Honda. Our description says that the impossibly cool 1973 album, What's Going On, from the late, great Japanese funk and jazz artist Takiro Honda, swings through jazz orchestral renditions of American R&B and funk classics like Marvin Gaye's What's Going On and Otis Redding's Dock of the Bay. So T. Honda's What's Going On looks to be on black vinyl and lists for about $32. Here's a pair from the Blue Note Tone Poet series. First up is Mr. Natural by Stanley Turrentine, limited 180-gram pressing on black vinyl. This one listing for about $39. And we can also look forward to Chet Baker Sings and Plays, this one listing for about $39 as well. And of course, the Blue Note Tone Poet series, just some great, great sounding and faithful reissues. And wrapping up our week, we've got a video game soundtrack, a compilation box, and some early original stuff. From Music on Vinyl, this is the soundtrack to the video game, not the TV series, but the video game, The Last of Us. The video game has won multiple Game of the Year awards and has been cited as one of the greatest video games ever made. I'm not a gamer, so I can't tell you for certain on that. But The Last of Us also received some acclaim for its score, which was made by Academy Award-winning composer Gustavo Santaolalla. So this double LP is coming on green and silver-colored marbled vinyl and housed in a deluxe gatefold sleeve, which includes printed inner sleeves and an 8-page booklet. So The Last of Us video game soundtrack coming from Music on Vinyl, listing for about $52. A 20th anniversary issue from Linkin Park. This is Meteora. We can look forward to a couple of different versions of this. The first is a deluxe triple LP pressing that contains a wealth of previously unreleased or rare tracks. And just in case that's not enough, there is a deluxe version of this as well. This edition features 5 LPs, 4 CDs, and 3 DVDs. The LPs include the album itself, plus a Live in Texas double LP and a Live in Nottingham double LP. The 4 CDs also have some live rarities and lost demos, and the DVDs include a performance live at Veterans Stadium in Seoul from 2003, Live in Manila from 2004, and the making of the album and the art of the album, a new work in progress lifestyle documentary. So the Linkin Park Meteora 20th Anniversary Edition, the 3 LP version, will list for about $90, and the huge Super Deluxe box set will list for about $200. Here is the 5th release from Kiss in the authorized Soundboard live recording series. This one's called Kiss Off the Soundboard, live in Poughkeepsie from 1984. Our description says this is from the Animalize tour show from the Mid-Hudson Civic Arena in Poughkeepsie, New York, and it features one of the only known soundboard recordings with Mark St. John. Now, the description goes on to say that a couple of songs on here, Young and Wasted and Rock and Roll All Night, are unfortunately incomplete recordings, but's being released due to the historical importance of the show with Mark. Double LP on 180-gram black vinyl, Kiss Off the Soundboard, live in Poughkeepsie from 1984, will list for about $50. And here's an interesting one from Deadline Music and Cleopatra Records. It's the Roots of Guns N' Roses. Our description says that this is a special limited edition pressing of the historical and monumental musical document of the very first demos recorded by Axl Rose and Izzy Stradlin before they became one of the biggest rock bands in American history. So lots of demo versions of early Guns N' Roses stuff. The Roots of Guns N' Roses on red and white splatter vinyl will list for about $33. And finally, we've got a fun one from one of the only groups I know of that is a Led Zeppelin tribute band fronted by an Elvis impersonator. Speaking, of course, of Dread Zeppelin. Now, this album has been out for quite some time, Deja Voodoo, but this reissue is coming from Cleopatra Records, and it's on red, green, and yellow splatter vinyl. If you're unfamiliar with Dread Zeppelin, I would suggest strongly that you look them up, because it's reggae versions of Led Zeppelin songs, and again, sung by an Elvis impersonator. I don't know how much more descriptive I can get than that. You really have to experience it. So Deja Voodoo from Dread Zeppelin on that red, green, and yellow splatter vinyl, listing for about $33. And that is a quick check of some of the releases headed our way for Friday, April 7th. If you're local and you see something you'd like us to try to get a hold of, please contact us here at the store. Not local, no problem. Just head over to our website at radiowastelandrecords.com. And from there, you can peruse the entire list of upcoming releases for not only this week, but several weeks to go into the future. We'll also put a link to all of the releases for the 11th down below in the description, so please feel free to click down there on that. So until next week, thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you next time from the Wasteland.